I saw this with my own eyes. Right, I'm recording. Let's see if we can do this. If we can't, right. Okay, so this is the thing that we're actually doing. This is the question, right? We're looking at this. So we're looking at from lines 1 to lines 14, okay? And the question is, if you whiz down here, the question says, on question number 3, it opens with the description of the murder of Zach. Look at the first 2 paragraphs, lines 1 to 14. How does Amuna use language to describe this crime? And it's worth 12 marks. Right, so as we said last time, who can tell me what the whole purpose of this is? What's the purpose of this? We were talking about it last lesson. Ellen, what is the purpose of Chaka Amuna and what he's doing in this text, in this article? Come on, we were looking at something very specific last time. What was it, Leo?
To make him feel sympathetic, Zach.
Why do people not feel sympathetic for kids like Zach? Because he's black, all right? Because he was black. Remember last time we were looking at it and we had all the kids that were white and they were like, oh, it was news headlines. It was all over the place. And whereas when I showed you the pictures of the kids, the boys that were black, who had all been shot and stabbed in London, you're just like, well, I haven't ever heard of them. And the whole point is because they are black. Nobody cares. Black on black violence. Do we as white people reading that think about it? Well, we don't even get to read it. It doesn't sell the papers. All right. Now, what was interesting is the fact that Chaka Amuna, who was a Labour MP, did not use Zach's what? Surname. Why not? Yeah, because he was African, wasn't it? It was of African heritage. And so if you had that surname, you probably think, well, he was part of a gang. I don't care. Anyway, so what I want you to do is I'm going to give you 10 minutes to go through this. And I want you to have a look and go through this bit here. So from this bit here, Zach was stabbed to death in front of Park Campus School in our borough of Lambeth in 2010. Only the day before, he had spoken at a Youth Against Violence conference and was trying to turn his life around, having got involved with the wrong people at a young age. He was associated with TN1, Trust No One, often referred to as a gang locally. More on the use of the term below. He operated in my part of my constituency. The Home Secretary visited today to launch the government's strategy to tackle serious violence. During the trial of Zach's 5 teenage murderers in 2011, the Old Bailey heard how he had been hounded down, was stabbed 4 times, and then lay dying on his back in the garden of a house just yards from the school. His family, like many others I've worked with in my area, have been doing what they can ever since to ensure others do not suffer the same tragedy and heartbreak. The bloodshed and violence on our streets, often not reported to the police but so frequently in evidence at local A&Es, has been going on for months, but for too long has been relegated to the back of the queue in our national conversation. The new focus on the issue is welcome and long overdue. Right, 10 minutes to go through that and to pick out the words and the phrases that promote the murder as something horrific. Because the whole point of this is he's trying to get you to feel sympathy for Zach so that you become aware that it is as bad that these young black boys are getting killed as it is for those white people. All right, so on these things. So for you people who are doing it at home, I'm going to leave this up and you can just use these. I'll just make it a teeny tiny bit bigger. There you go, so it's that one there. Now it's gone to 60, but that's okay. Okay, right, off you go. Right, 10 minutes. Right, the task, if you turn it over, is question number 3. So it's question number 3. So I'll just put that on there as well. I'll just give it a change. Paste. How do I get that down now? Okay. So this is looking at language. So it's looking at language. So it is looking at things like verbs, adjectives, nouns. I'm just freezing that. Right, so if you're looking at home, you've got about 8 minutes to go through this. It'll be fun because you can just like see me here, and then if you really miss me, Jakey, you can go home and watch the lesson again.
Oh, yeah.
You can relive the best hour of your day. Yeah, and now I could be talking. Hi, Jakey. See, I could do it two times. Right, so come on, underline it, highlight it, words used. You can just hear it anyway. It's fine. Yeah, there's a microphone. I mean, you've got these. Anyway, you should be getting on with your work, let's be honest. Come on, because you're going to be answering a question on this next lesson. Huh? Actually, yes, I think, because it's only a short question. It's only about, it's 8 marks. No, it's 12 marks, so yes. You are big boys and girls. You have got your mocks. Yes, James.
What's the Old Bailey mean?
The Old Bailey, a very good question. The Old Bailey is the highest court of the land. So it's where they prosecute criminals. I can't do it.
When did you last start?
Yesterday.
Yeah, that's right.
Not those papers, those papers. Anyway, just get on with it. Yes, Dave. The Old Bailey is a criminal justice. So it's basically a court. The highest court in the land, the Old Bailey. So it shows, that's a very good point, it shows how serious it was because they were tried at the Old Bailey.
So are we saying like he uses this quote, or is it more about?
He uses the language. So he uses, let's just say he uses this quote, we've got to focus on the language. But the whole, well, I'll talk you through one of them and then you'll get a better idea.
Let's start
So Zach, so it's kind of like
pound it down.
yeah. It's metaphorical and it's animalistic. What does it make the boy seem like? And what makes that seem like? So who's not here? Do you check your school emails? Do you check Frog? Do you get homework? Do you check Frog? Because do remember that next on Friday is an inset, so we're missing a lesson. Who's not here? Janelle?
Alexandra.
Who else isn't here? Right, 5 minutes. Come on, show you haven't got anything on your picture, on your paper. What's the language? What's the language? What is it? Verb only up to line 14, remember?
Have we got to write what it is?
Yeah, that's the whole point, because it's a language question, so you've got to write. Well, it's metaphorical as well, isn't it? Because they didn't really hound him, so. The metaphorical animalistic language of hounded. Right, 2 more minutes because I want to talk through this, then I'm going to give you 10 minutes to write the answer. Why have we not closed down with COVID? Righty. Let's just start this. Right, I'm going to whiz through this quite quickly. So you really need to listen, and you're going to talk about 3 different quotes. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to just pick out the 3 best quotes. So, Josh, give me something that you've got on yours.
Stabbed 4 times.
Stabbed 4 times, right? Lovely. Well, not lovely, but yes. Okay, stabbed 4 times. Why? In actual fact, you could talk about this one, but why stabbed 4 times?
Well, because it's very sometimes stabbed.
And why? But why is that bad? That it was stabbed 4 times rather than just once.
Because it shows how much they just didn't care for his life whatsoever.
They were very, very, very clear they wanted to kill him. It wasn't an accident. So it makes everything have malice aforethought, which you don't have to go into, but it means that this murder was premeditated and it was not manslaughter. So the fact that they were stabbed 4 times, obviously the verb stabbed is very violent, it's very aggressive, it's very brutal. If you're going to be very perceptive, what you could say is if you stab someone, you have to get very close to them. So it's a very intimate way of killing somebody. And he was stabbed 4 times. And so it shows that his killers wanted him dead. All right. There was malice aforethought. They wanted him dead, which means it's so awful because these are basically children killing children. All right. So it intensifies the idea that this is a brutal thing to happen. Amy, you said this one, which I think is always the best one. Hounded down. So what is the technique there?
The metaphorical animalistic language.
Yes, the metaphorical animalistic language of hounded down. Yeah.
Phrase that. I wanted to write it very wrong, but it kind of makes it more like you said, like brutal. It wasn't an accident, and then it also illustrates that he was hunted.
Yes, lovely. He was hunted. Hounded. If you're hounded down, it means you've been hunted with dogs. So it portrays him as a victim, and it portrays him as prey. And the fact that he was hunted down. Again, what it does is it makes you think that his death was awful. It wasn't just like black on black violence. It wasn't just somebody, it was awful. All right, he was stabbed to death. But the worst thing was, before he was stabbed to death, he was hounded down. All right, and also it makes his killers seem like a pack, all right, a gang of animals, which reinforces the brutal way that this has ended. Right, Javier, something else? Yeah, lay dying on his back in a garden. What can you say about that one?
In the garden and the house, did it anywhere.
Right, very good. And that also links to the idea that he was stabbed to death in front of Park Campus School. Right, so the noun Park Campus School makes it very specific. It also shows and reinforces the fact that a school should be a place of safety, doesn't it? So Amuna, his purpose is to make you aware that these people matter. All right, they should be safe. Little Zach should have been safe going to school, but he wasn't. All right, so the noun Park Campus School suggests that this was an awful thing to happen in an area where people would think that they were safe. And also he lay dying on his back in the garden. You've got the juxtaposition of the noun garden. What is a garden supposed to be, especially in a city? Say that again. Safe space. It's supposed to be a haven, somewhere quiet, somewhere peaceful, somewhere where you can be at one with nature. And then this boy lay dying on his back. So the juxtaposition of dying and garden. Again, there's no safety in London, is there? You can't even run away because they don't respect places that usually should be for the community. Let's see, we've got another couple of things. Shay, you got anything else?
No.
Come on, have a think about it. Anything else that suggests that it's, something horrible? Questions all about how does Amuna use language? Tim? Anything else?
Bloodshed and violence.
Oh yeah. Bloodshed and violence. Very good. The adjectives, bloodshed and violence. What kind of lexical field is that from? Where would you expect bloodshed and violence? Yeah, very good, Timothy. You would expect bloodshed and violence in a war, on a battlefield. So what is that reinforcing about this crime and other crimes like it? Yeah, it shouldn't happen, and we have the potential to stop it. And actually, as readers, reading our Chakra Amuna, we're going, actually, this shouldn't be happening. All right, this is a terrible, terrible thing. So this question 3 on paper 2, which we're going to do for your mocks, is all about the language. All right. This is one more thing that I would actually talk about. So you just got bloodshed and violence here. And then something else that you can talk about is this bit here. Has been going on for months, but too long has been relegated to the back of the queue. So the actual fact that you've got the word months here suggests that it has been relegated to the back of the queue. That's a metaphor. What does that show about people's the importance that people put on this? Do they care? No, they don't. They don't care. Right. So 5, 10. I don't keep farting. That is my chair. Okay. Right, okay, so you're going to answer this question now. So, can you get some paper, please? Can you come and get a paper? Right, this is so at home, if you're watching this at home, I'm now going to give the class 15 minutes to answer this. Let me just, I just got to find something. Okay, so so for those people who are doing this in the class, I'm just going to say goodbye to people at home because they should be able to just go back and then just press pause and see if they can write this. So there's a rather attractive picture of my face. Right, bye.